What's up, everybody? Rob from Spike Week here, and we are going on to rounds 5 and 6 in this massive $1,000 buy-in on Underdog, the Mastiff. Did we make some mistakes early? Is it going to work out for us? Let's go ahead and get into it and find out. So let's go ahead and start by running down our actual team here. And what we ended up doing first of all, we drafted from the 112, which is like just standard for us as we keep talking about. But from the 112, I decided to get a little bit different. I took Tony Pollard and Patrick Mahomes rather than grabbing the standard 2 wide receivers or Nick Chubb with a receiver that I think the majority of the field is doing. So I wanted to get a little bit different. That's going to cost us in another position as we're going to talk about. But we went Mahomes, Tony Pollard, Deebo Samuel, Breece Hall. So right now we have 1 quarterback with Mahomes, 2 running backs, Pollard, Hall, and we also have Deebo Samuel. And before we get into our decisions, let's just kind of look at the board here, see if anything weird kind of happened in this, 4th and 5th round as we go through. We don't see anything too out of the ordinary. We do see that the 1 hole went Justin Jefferson, Ramondre, T. Higgins, but started this Minnesota Green Bay game stack with Christian Watson and Aaron Jones at the 4-5 turn. Jamar Chase did end up stacking up with Joe Burrow, also grabbed DJ Moore. McCaffrey is kind of doing a stack with the Eagles, then grabs Hopkins and Kirk. Looks like he's grabbing quote-unquote best available based on ADP. And everything else is kind of lining up for people. We have an unstacked Josh Allen. We have an unstacked Justin Herbert, which could be interesting. We're not sure what their plans are for that. It's probably going to be some sort of Quentin Johnson hopeful or something like that. Justin Fields is unstacked right now as well from this spot here. So I don't think anything is like egregiously out of line. We do see Pepper Prince going with a 3 running back build here with Bijan, Travis Etienne, and Alexander Madison. They also have Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper. So that is the 3 running back build. Everyone else is kind of scattered amongst the other positions, whether they took a quarterback, whether they took a tight end. Nobody has technically taken both of those yet. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at what is on the board. So the quote-unquote best available player is JSN with Seattle. Other wide receivers are Hollywood Brown, Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans. Then we're getting into that Michael Pittman, Gabe Davis range. The best available tight end is George Kittle, which is pretty interesting for us. And then at running back, we're looking at Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, Dameon Pierce. For me personally, quarterback is obviously out of the equation. There's no reason for me to grab Trevor Lawrence here. So what makes the most sense for our team? Did we back ourselves into a corner by going without grabbing a wide receiver, either in the first 2 rounds or not double tapping wide receiver? Because we could have had Deebo McLaurin, if you remember, and just been without Breece Hall. It would have been Mahomes, Pollard, Deebo, McLaurin. So what makes the most sense for our team that we're currently constructing? And obviously we want wide receivers. And as I was looking at the board, the 2 wide receivers that kind of stick out to me in this particular spot would be JSN, who is at the top of the board here. Or honestly, the other guy I was looking at is Mike Evans. And I do like his playoff matchup. Mike Evans, we know, is going to be on the field as long as he's healthy, blah, blah, blah. The healthy thing is a bit of a concern with him. He does get taken off the field quite a bit. So those are the 2 question marks at wide receiver if I wanted one or both of them. Now we're going to move on to tight end. When I was originally constructing this build, I thought we were going to be punting tight end for the last, 3 out of the last 4 rounds or something like that. And I'm starting to second guess that with Kittle still on the board here, getting him at the 5-6 turn. We already have Deebo Samuel. We can bet on the San Francisco 49ers offense. We've done this in the past on some high stakes drafts. But the question becomes, is he just the best available player on the board? And if we punted a wide receiver spot, is that okay? So that's the thing we need to be thinking about as well. And finally, we're going to look at running back. I am not interested in Miles Sanders for this team. I'm not interested in Dameon Pierce for this team. I am heavily interested in J.K. Dobbins for this team at this price point. You know, late 5th, early 6th, whichever one you want to call it. He would be going at this 5-6 turn for us. And we've already started to build what I think can be the best running back room in this draft. And over on Spike Week, generally, this is not the way we construct our teams. We're not going with the heavy running back thing. But remember, we are looking to build our best teams based on the way we've drafted already. I think that getting J.K. Dobbins allows us to reduce the amount of running backs that we would draft on a typical basis down to possibly 5. And if we get real crazy, maybe 4 running backs instead of having a 6 running back room. And I just think that he's probably the best available pick on the board. He plays Jacksonville in the playoffs, has San Francisco. So a little bit of week 16 correlation. We don't love the matchup at San Fran, but at least it's at San Fran. And then he's playing Miami at home in Baltimore for week 17. So I am very intrigued by J.K. Dobbins for this roster. We are very weak at wide receiver, but let's go through it. All these wide receivers here are fine. Nobody jumps off the page to me. JSN is intriguing, of course. He's a rookie. But just in the grand scheme of things, I almost think that there is a long tier of wide receivers here. And we've talked about tiers in the past. And I just think that as I was looking at this earlier, I was definitely grabbing 1, possibly 2 wide receivers. And I don't think I'm doing it anymore, to be perfectly honest. I think that the play here is to just fortify both onesie positions by grabbing George Kittle. We have elite tight end, we have elite quarterback with Mahomes. And grabbing J.K. Dobbins at running back to just create this insane running back room of Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins in a structure that we're advancing 6 out of 12. And our volume play can be wide receiver. And I think that we have the ability to draft better wide receivers than other players. This obviously is high stakes, so probably generally a smarter group of people, but that doesn't mean everyone's smart. I don't know everyone in this draft. Maybe everyone is smart. Maybe everyone's smarter than me. But I think that we can get a healthy number of wide receivers later and build out this team that way and just absolutely dominate at quarterback, tight end, and running back. So for me, I know this is a little bit of a surprise, but we are going to take George Kittle here to bet on the 49ers. And we'll lock that in. And we are going to take J.K. Dobbins to get this 3-headed monster currently of Pollard, Breece Hall, and J.K. Dobbins, especially because I think some of these guys are going to be going back to practice, getting ready to get in the games, and they're going to be bumping up the board. So having this Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Tony Pollard pairing, I think is going to be quite difficult. So there you have it. We have George Kittle. We have J.K. Dobbins. So the roster currently is Patrick Mahomes, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. So we are elite at the quarterback and tight end position. Our running back room is the best in the draft, in my opinion. I don't think that there is another running back grouping that is as good as ours. Again, the only other 3 running backs currently is Bijan, Travis Etienne, and Alexander Madison. And I will take Pollard, Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins all day over that grouping. I don't even think there is a 2 running back pairing that is even close to our level. Like, as I look around this draft, who else has that? No one. So I think that we are just elite at 3 out of the 4 positions right now: quarterback, running back, tight end. We're advancing 6 out of 12. We can get volume at wide receiver. We can still get good wide receiver picks. That's the way we're going to play it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this Mastiff tournament. $1,000 buy-in, $20K up top, 6 out of 12 advancing out of the first round. If you are, please make sure you hit that like button below, hit the subscribe button. Let us know in the comments, do you think this team is dead already without having the wide receivers? I'd be real interested to hear what you guys think on that. Until round 7 and 8, I'll catch you next time. Peace. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.